Hey guys, this is that man, that's me merchandise, and today, well, it's just a little bit of a channel update. I haven't had one of these in quite some time. Now, you guys are probably already aware that, well, in the country we're kind of going down into, well, we're going down into isolation, we are in isolation. And, yeah, so I'm still at work. I'm not furloughed and I'm not self-isolating or anything like that. I'm still going in doing 10-hour shifts pretty much every single day. I am working from home, however, so that is currently giving me a little bit more time to actually sit down and do stuff. Normally I would have to leave about 9 o'clock just to get to work for 10 o'clock and get back around 9 o'clock at night. Now it's kind of like sit down, log on at 9:45, finish bang on 8 o'clock. So yeah, that is giving us like an hour and a half, maybe up to 2 hours once I include like food and stuff like that. There's a little bit more time. So I've decided to invest that time into making better quality videos, which has kind of worked both ways. I do like doing the original ways of doing it, where I just go, oh yeah, this is that series, blah 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 blah, and I can talk about it for about 10 minutes or so. One of the things I did find is that people dropped off that very quickly, and I didn't feel like I was really giving some series the real proper benefits. So I started doing some scripting, and most of my videos, well, this is just off the wall, have some scripting in to some degree, which obviously increases the amount of time. I'm doing a hell of a lot more editing on stuff, even just simple review videos. Sometimes I can sit and do 4 to 5 hours editing. I am also looking at trying to do bigger videos. For example, the video I did on Manga Collection last week, that one was one that I worked on for pretty much all of my free time for about 2 weeks. I'm trying to get a proper schedule up and running. However, at this point, well, you know, it's kind of difficult to do so. At this point, I don't know how long I'm going to be working from home. It's going well for me. I'm actually doing better working from home than I am working from work. So, at this point, we're kind of expecting lockdown to continue on for at least 3 more weeks. Whether or not they turn around and say, beginning of June everybody goes back to work, or beginning of June everyone who can't work from home has to go to work, or whatever. I'm not gonna lie, I tend to find that I'm expecting to go back into the office. At this point, I'm kind of just saying, bear with me. Videos are coming out as and when. I'm trying to get a video out every Tuesday at the very minimum, and then a secondary video maybe towards the weekend. So this also brings me on to content. Like I said, I'm going for bigger and better titles. I'm going to try and get stuff that's kind of more bigger, if you know what I'm saying. I don't want to cover just like, for example, oh, this is a review on Tomb Raider, because only the people who care about Tomb Raider is going to read that, and it's not even manga anyway. But you know what I mean, it's like, if I pick up an obscure title, not many people's going to care about it, as opposed to if I cover, for example, an upcoming video is just on sports manga, where I've read a few sports mangas. So I'm looking at doing bigger videos. Not to say that we're not going to do smaller videos, however, I'm kind of looking at my collection at the moment. I've pretty much covered every single series that I own, and at this point I'm not planning on buying many new series. As I went on the collection video, I kind of feel like my collection is complete in terms of series that I'm buying. At this point, I can't exactly get much more in there, so I'm just adding on to what I've already got. not to say I'm not buying anything, I'm buying a ton of stuff. I've got a haul video coming up. I've actually got one manga and about 10 light novels, because light novels seem to be what I'm reading. Because I now have breaks, actual breaks, rather than, oh my god, this is time I can actually use to eat. I'm actually using my breaks to actually read light novels, so I'm getting through them a lot more than I am otherwise. So expect a lot more light novel content, maybe once I get down on the light novels and the next Bookwalker sale comes up. I'm planning on buying a few manga, because there's a few I've had my eye on, but at this point I'm kind of like, yeah, not many two new series. I'm gonna look at what I've got and kind of do bigger and better videos on them. For example, I am still working very incredibly slowly on that Yotsuba Complete History. People are asking me when a Complete History is coming back. Eventually. The problem is with doing a Complete History is the Prison School and the Nichijou ones took me 2 weeks to do. Now, I had a little bit less time, but that was literally my entire life for 2 weeks. I was getting proper in a rut, and quite frankly, I wasn't happy with the amount of... They were a labour of love, essentially. They were titles that I did, and I don't regret doing them, but I didn't really get much for it, especially in the grand scheme of things. When I realised I could plop out a whole video which takes me 2 hours at the absolute maximum, or I could plop out what am I reading this week, or I could just stand in front of a camera and talk about stuff, and I was getting about the same views as what I was getting for a massively heavily edited video. I was kind of like, well, you know, it doesn't make sense. Not to say I'm not, like I said, I'm looking at bigger stuff. I'm looking at the bigger picture for things moving forwards, which is going to have a few little announcements. So, first up, we are going to be looking at, manga and light novels, which I'm counting as one. That's going to be kind of as and when I get something worth talking about. I have about 3 light novels that I'm definitely going to be able to cover over the next few weeks, as well as a few others. Manga, I have none. Manga, I don't have any. I've got quite a few downloaded, which I'm going to cover. Secondary, I'm going to be covering more broad topics, so you might see I might do a video on ecchi, on sport, on slice of life. I've got one planned about world tournaments, because or tournament arcs, because I hate tournament arcs. I've got a few other fun things here and there that I'm going to be covering as and when I kind of need a video. Them are going to get done. I'm also going to be looking at doing some more live streams and possibly a podcast in the near future. I've always joked on for quite some time that I would do a podcast, and it would be a light novel and ecchi podcast, and I'd be calling it Light and Bouncy, and it would just confuse anybody who's trying to get into Weight Watchers. That's still kind of the plan for years. The live streams, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm kind of considering maybe booting up Minecraft or Animal Crossing or something like that. So something that you guys can potentially join me on, because my live streaming is probably going to be limited to the Nintendo Switch. I want to cover a little bit more gaming stuff as well, which might go into a new channel, it might not. But speaking of channels, now you guys probably have noticed I was covering a few little things a few weeks ago. There was a Nico Robin hentai doujinshi and Tifa doujinshi. I am slowly working on the 3rd video, which might actually be the first video, because we are only human at the end of the days, and I think hentai needs its very own channel. I don't want to get bogged down in just being, oh, this is a hentai channel, because I'm sure not everybody's going to be wanting that. People are wanting manga. I can't really call myself that man in these manga when talking about hentai. But what we can do is create a new channel and that channel will be called That Human and His Hentai. That's right, the channel is up. There's no videos on it, but the channel is up, so I'll leave a link in the description if you guys want to check it out. Videos for that will just come as and when, because YouTube doesn't like it. The Nico Robin one is one of the best videos I've actually had. The Tifa one did incredibly well, better than the Nico Robin one. Then YouTube stopped it from showing up in any searches. And I've got a feeling that's something to do with Sony, because it's Final Fantasy is a Sony game, and we all know Sony are very kind of anti-op-eye, as the maybe you should say it. I kind of that to be honest, that kind of put me off. So stuff's coming, but expect stuff here and there. Overall, I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update, because like I said, this is affecting everybody. Fortunately, incredibly fortunately, I haven't been hit, nobody in my family's been hit with this coronavirus yet. However, it kind of feels like a ticking time bomb. Also, unfortunately, due to SunnyCon Anime Expo being cancelled this year, there will be no hentai panel. I was looking at ways to kind of maybe get up on a streaming service or something like that, like maybe stream it, but then I was kind of like, yeah, it just seems far too much hassle for what it's worth. So all of the content for that will go into next year. I'll say is next year. Amicon is apparently still running, so I'm expecting that to be cancelled, but if it does run, I've got cosplay to make, so brilliant. London MCM is going to be gone at the end of October, which is a huge shame, because it's quite a way away. Scotland Loves Anime might go ahead, we don't know. It's all one of these things at the moment. It's like, I'm kind of like, I'm doing well mentally. I've been the best I have been. Some days I have crap because you can't go out, but at the end of the day, what we're going to do, we're all in this boat. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to give a bit of a channel update. I know this has gone on for quite some time, I'm probably rambling. But yeah, thanks everybody for sticking with me. Like I said, plenty of stuff in the pipeline, just kind of bear with me as and when it comes out. Thank you for coming, and thanks again for staying. Goodbye.